So when you think of the term rock star, who and what comes to mind?
I think immediately of Robert Plant and Led Zeppelin. But if we could extrapolate more generally, I think it's about somebody on stage in an arena surrounded by 10,000 people, adoring fans, looking upon this person as some type of god. That's what I would think. Music and art in general is a reflection, of society. I think a very common element that separates the people who make it and don't is focus and like the amount of time and energy that a person dedicates to their craft. Pot's been around since, Louis Armstrong, Snoop Dogg. Dr. Dre's album, what was that, 93, The Chronic, named after Kai and Bud Pot. It's not just hip-hop. Velvet Underground, for instance, their first record in 1967, you'll find a love song to heroin. Plenty other genres have used and are still using drugs. You could look into the direction of society and how society sometimes tends to make people feel alienated, and that type of recreational drug used to sort of check out of the modern alienation that one feels. Maybe that's more common now than before. So in a way it repeats, and in a way it's brand new. History repeats itself, but also it's like totally different than the last cycle. So there's similarities and differences for sure.
I feel like my definition of success is to be able to do what you love for a living and to be happy with it. Being able to live the life that you want. Because, it's like, I don't feel like success is, fame or fortune necessarily. It's like, I feel like it's deeper than that. You know what I mean?
Mama always told me do that right there. Got your 3, 4 feet. Run it up.
My name's Omaya, and I'm a director. I make, music videos and short films. Growing up, I kind of got into cameras because of my dad. You know what I mean? Sometime in 7th grade, my dad had let me use his VX2000, and it was a pretty good camera. I probably shouldn't have been using it at that age the way that I was, but you know what I mean? I just took it to the skate park and we would make little skate videos, put them on YouTube, and it was just a really fun thing to do with my friends and shit. Yeah, I started taking it more seriously probably around the end of high school. You know what I mean? Because I had stopped skating for a little bit, and then I just started, I got into photography and stuff like that. Somewhere around 12th grade or 11th grade, I got my first actual camera that I could. Well, actually, I had another camera that wasn't really good for anything, but it was decent. You know what I mean? So we would I would just mess around with it, and then that one broke. Then I got a GH4 in 11th grade, and yeah, and I just started messing around with music videos, and I realized that it was pretty fun. You know what I mean?
Wait, hold on, one second. Run it back. Where the OE's at? Get the OE's. Hold up. Wait. Hold up.
I do work with a lot of artists that deal with Xanax, and not to say that they're unreliable, but Xanax is definitely, inhibiting in a way. People, they will not make their best work on it. Some people really do think that they need it to be an artist. They think that they need Xanax to actually be what they are, but I don't think so.
Ready?
Yeah. Start over.
I said I was gonna go crazy with you, man, so I'm gonna go crazy with you, man.
Yeah, go this way. Ready?
It's fucking money stack high on these bitch made ass niggas, man.
A lot of people get famous and then they develop drug habits. A lot of people, it 100% is way more prevalent than it used to be. Just because now I guess it's a little bit more of a trend. Whatever it was, it was just more casual. Now it's more of people declaring it as their lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's more of
like, yeah, like I do this to get through the day, and I can't not do it. You know what I mean?
So, you hear that shit? It's that how these bitch made ass niggas, man. Days? Huh. You ever some days I go insane, run up on me, boy, that is your brain.
But the thing is with it is that, like, it's really easy for a person to convince themselves that they're just doing it to get rid of their anxiety. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people do have anxiety. Like 2017, like the most people were, you know, making Zen like rap, overall just doing a lot of Zans. Like people were aspiring to do a lot of Zans. You know what I mean? Like taking pride in how many Zans they took a day.
Yo, Days, start over. Days. Start over. Wait.
People off of like basically any drug. I'm not even gonna say just Xanax, but people off of like generally any drug think that they're doing more than what they're doing. I think this one guy that I was working with, he came to me one day. He was like, "Hey, I stopped taking Zans. I stopped taking bars. I feel great. I've been off of them for like 4 days already." I'm like, "Yeah, that's great, dude. Just keep it up. We're gonna edit this video, knock it out." He comes over. The first thing he says to me is, "Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I took like 2 bars before I came here." I'm like, "Damn." I'm like, "That's whack." Like I just told him, I was like, "Damn, that's whack." But whatever. And he was like, "Yeah, bro, but nah, no funny shit, bro. Like I deadass feel like I'd be more creative when I'm off them, and I want to be as creative as possible tonight, so that we can, you know, get as much work as possible done." We sit down, and then nigga, not 30 minutes in, knocked out. Damn. Done, like to that. And there's this place that you go to if you're off too many bars. It's like, it's weird. It's like you can like, they fall asleep and like you could shake them and like it's like they're dead. It's like scary for a second. You know what I mean? Like you move them, you can like flip them over, throw water on them. It gets annoying because it's like, yo, we're supposed to be working. Then you wake him up, he opens his eyes, like, you know, flutters his eyes for like 2 seconds and then just goes back to sleep.
People don't really take it seriously. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people will contact you and they don't care what their video looks like. They just want a camera to be in front of them. They want themselves to be shot. They want you to edit it and throw some cool effects on it and then just throw it out there. They don't give a shit. Like you could, like I could try a lot or I could try not at all for a lot of people's videos and they won't know the difference. And that's what kind of bothers me. You know what I mean? Because like I could do a video for somebody and we could have like, you know, like an actual feeling, like a thought that we want to convey. A lot of people will just hit me up like, "Yo, I just did this song. What you think? Like, you know, can we shoot a video to this?" Like, they don't have any idea. They just it's just boring. It's repetitive. It goes on and on and on. And it doesn't feel genuine. It just feels like it feels cheap. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you just hopped in the booth and did this one take and then just shot it out there like, everybody support me. I don't know, I guess that's kind of like, that's like the music industry in general. You know, it's just like, they just want to flaunt what they have, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like, all right, I have this, I have this, I have this. I don't do this, and I don't do this. And you know what I mean? It's like a basic list for a lot of people that I work with. I do know a couple people that are like really versatile and they make really great music because they, you know, they know how to expand on themselves and you know, try different things because they're overall having fun with their music. It's like, just sit back and actually work on your craft and don't jump the gun, like work. You know what I mean? I want to get into more films with, what's the word for it? Substance. Yeah, I want to make like more things that make people like really think.
If I said that you want to fade away, jump! When the world doesn't seem so bright, give me your hand and I will lift you up.
A lot of people see, you know, being in a band and they think it's very glamorous because that's what they see. They see that negligibly small percent of the time when you're on stage having a blast, making music videos, you know, creating. That's for sure, that's the fun stuff. But the other overwhelming majority, 90 whatever percent is business. Right now, we're still we're a completely independent band, meaning we handle all aspects of the business ourselves, meaning marketing, designing the merch, promoting ourselves on social media, and also in the real world. Our goal is to obviously turn this band into something that can be our career. We all want to support families of our own someday doing this. We look at artists, who do it full time, being away from their loved ones for a majority of the year, missing weddings, missing, important family events. At the end of the day, life goes on at home regardless of whether you're there or not. I personally had to quit my job in order to be able to do that. We've had those tough conversations of, how much are we willing to sacrifice in order to take this band to the next level. If you're in that situation, the idea of, using recreational drugs as your escape, I can imagine that's pretty appealing.
I've had a history of drugs and alcohol in the past. I ended up in the hospital from an overdose, so having gone through that, I don't want to go through it again. So it puts that into perspective. But the feeling is still there. Acknowledging that it's there is at least a start.
Making sure not to burn ourselves out and just keep the focus on, why we got into this in the first place. And just remembering our love of music and even just remembering our friendship.
I'm recording it. I got it. All right, record.
Well, isn't Gabby Robert Plant?
Gabby is Robert.
Wait, are you telling me I'm not Robert Plant?
I thought you were. That's why I said Robert Plant.
Is Gabby?
I don't know. I thought you knew.
Okay, so what happens on the recording is like. Yeah, I think that so many people out there are just not saying anything. They're just not saying anything, and I want people to look to our music for complexity in subject and substance. My dad's always like, shit, Gab, I wish you were a dentist or a podiatrist. I wish you wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer, because if you want to be something like that, not to say that that's not difficult, but there's a set path, step 1, step 2. But how do you become a rock star? Nobody knows that.
If you're an actual musician, it kind of sucks because you don't really have a choice a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You sort of have to play music, you don't get a say in the matter. If music is in your soul, it just is going to come out either way.
A lot of times musicians need something to keep it interesting, fun, because everything gets monotonous eventually.
Putting your heart out on a stage every time and time again. That's why so many musicians die young, because the human body's not meant to take it. You're not supposed to travel this much, you're not supposed to put out this much effort. But it's the only way to really make money as a musician, so it's what you have to do.
It's a sad thing that just goes on in the music industry no matter what genre it is, that people turn to certain substances that, not all of them are going to destroy you. Weed's not going to kill you, but that they feel that they have a need to turn to these other things, also because of isolation. When you think about it, it's these are all the main stars. They're by themselves. They might have friends and family, but only they know what it's like to be them.
Screaming, but I'll never hear it. And now I'm realizing that I don't even
When you think about what you're going to do with your life as a kid, you figure out what matters. How am I going to live my life? Instagram and SoundCloud, social media, the internet. If you've got a generation of musicians that are, glorifying Xanax and just making mumble rap, and they're famous and they're banking, that's what kids are going to want to emulate. This happened in the 60s and the 70s, 80s. It's been going on forever. The dangerous stuff that people are overdosing on, I hope it goes somewhere. I hope it goes away.